We decided to head up Mboma Island again earlier this morning with plans to track the lions that we'd heard calling during the night. There is a large open plain on the southwestern edge of this island, and this area was incredibly busy this morning with an interesting mix of animals moving through. Once again we saw the 3 little bat-eared foxes that we saw on Monday. These little predators are always so amusing to watch. They have huge dish-like ears that they use to locate subterranean prey. They feed predominantly on harvested termites actually, but will eat a variety of food sources, including wild fruit at times. As this hunting trio made their way down south, they crossed paths with a pair of wattled cranes that had been moving slowly across the same plain. Okavango actually forms one of the last viable breeding grounds for these endangered birds. They are actually listed as critically endangered in the southern African region, and this is due almost entirely to habitat destruction. They feed predominantly on plant matter, but will readily eat small vertebrates, amphibians and reptiles at times. They made their way into the sage and through a shimmering multitude of spider webs. These webs, the initial tendrils sent out by spiders in the mornings, make what looks like a fine mat of glowing silk. It's incredible when the light hits it right. All through the morning, male giraffe had been making their way out of the tree line to the north, and they all gradually made their way across the plain and slowly formed into a fairly large bachelor herd. As is common at this time of year, insects hovered all around them, and the usual host of oxpeckers began descending. As the giraffe began congregating, it became clear that there was something drawing them in. This wasn't just random movement. A pair of females with fairly large calves had emerged, and the bulls were all moving towards them. One of the females was quite clearly an estrus, and the largest of the males took up a very proprietary position next to her. He briefly chased after a smaller bull that tried to approach, but apart from this his dominance was not challenged. This large male stayed right beside the female for the entire morning, literally pressed up against her. She was very clearly an estrus, but was not quite yet ready to mate, and she eventually moved off into the acacia scrub. He followed her as was to be expected, and we left them when they disappeared from view.